Have you ever heard somebody say that you can't love nobody properly if you don't love yourself? Do some of y'all ever sit and ponder, what the fuck does that even mean, if that means anything? Well, in Dame's world, we took that comment to heart. We want to break down and assess exactly what that comment means and how it relates to me and how it relates to all y'all watching. It's your boy Dame, first and foremost. Subscribe to Dame's World. The topic of this video is called Inspiration versus Envy. Inspiration versus envy. And the reason why the video is called this, because how you feel about something you see or someone you see can all be dependent on how you feel about yourself. A lot of the times when you're looking at somebody's actions and you're characterizing it or you're putting your judgment on it, more often than not, it says more about you than that actual person. So when we talk about inspiration and when we talk about envy, we talk about feelings within one's own self that can be grasped if you're conscious, or that may be justified by an excuse if you're unconscious. What I mean by that, let's say you envy someone. Most people are afraid to admit that they have envious tendencies. I'll admit that I've been on a lower frequency to where envy arises. All it is, in my opinion, is an energy state. And if we revert it back to the comment, you can't love no one unless you love yourself. When you're at a low frequency, low energy state, what you're going to give out, what you're going to see in the external world is not going to be presented as love, more so as hate. And hate comes in the form of jealousy, envy, anger, negative banter, all that type of shit. So when I say people have to love themselves in order to not do things like envy, it all stems from a place of self-assessment. If you don't self-assess, then you won't know that you's a hater. And you won't know how to flip that hate into love. To where now that same thing that you envy, you're now inspired by. You now admire. You now have tapped into the frequency of love to where that same signal now is viewed differently. Because now you have a different feeling about yourself. When you're low on self, envy might pop out. For example, one of my favorite songs, Kendrick Lamar. I used to be jealous of Aaron to follow. That's one of my favorite songs because shout out to Kendrick Lamar for being a real nigga, pointing out his jealousy and his envy. Because when we point out our lower selves, it shows us so much about us. It shows us that we're reducing our ego to actually reflect on who we are and how we've become this way. So when Kendrick Lamar said he was jealous of Aaron Aflalo, it wasn't nothing that Aaron Aflalo did to make Kendrick jealous. Aaron Aflalo's doing him successful, but it's because of how Kendrick perceived himself at the time. Be it that they're both from Compton, be it that one of them made it out of Compton and is a successful NBA player, and that many people strive from that place to be successful. And Kendrick assessing himself, saying, damn, how come I can't do that? Or why I ain't do that? And then when you have that low self-esteem, I'm not even talking about Kendrick, it's just an example. I've had it, and you guys have had it, whether or not you want to admit it. But when you're at that place of insecurity about yourself, it breeds contempt and jealousy. To where you look at somebody like Aaron Aflalo and be like, man, fuck that nigga. He ain't doing that. I could do that. He got lucky. This is the crabs in a barrel mentality that all of us watching have been subconsciously indoctrinated into. We have a frequency of hate. We have a frequency of envy. And it's the most prevalent when you go in your own neighborhood, which is so convenient when Kendrick Lamar says Aaron Aflalo, because envy usually is bred from attachment. When you feel like somebody's doing something that you could be doing from your environment, from your neighborhood, looking just like you, and you not doing it, that can breed the emotion of envy if you're at a low frequency, if your sense of self is low. Now, here's the trick. That same feeling of somebody being at a space in which you want to be, when you're not at a low frequency, it can be viewed as inspiring. So let's say Kendrick Lamar or anybody, let's use myself. I'm from Lancaster, and let's say, okay, Paul George. I played hoops, Paul played hoops. At a low frequency, niggas from Palmdale, niggas from Lancaster probably say, man, I gave Paul buckets. I did this to him. I did, which means nothing, but it's only to fulfill their own insecurities as to why they're not where Paul George is at. Now, for me, relative to that, in the frequency in which I'm at right now, it's inspiring. It's admirable to see somebody from my city make it in a certain facet in which some people strive to, or in which some people in our neighborhood think that we can't make it. Inspiration is like the manifestation of one's own love. Because you can use that same PG or Aaron Aflalo and start hating. No, man, PG ain't did Aaron Aflalo, all that rhetoric. Or you can look at somebody who's at a higher level than you in a specific field, and it can make your energy be better. When you're inspired, you want to do. The definition of inspire: being stimulated to do or feel something, usually creative. So when Paul George dunk on LeBron James and he from Palmdale, when you have a frequency of love about yourself, when you're not insecure about yourself, when you're comfortable enough to tell yourself, hey, I'm not there yet, but I would like to be there, you get inspired, you get motivated, you admire what you're seeing. But when you're not there yet, and you have a low frequency of self, and you have doubt, and you have insecurities, and you are filling your ego with distortion in order to almost try to suppress the actual you, then that's going to fester in envy. You're going to end up hating. You're going to end up not giving compliments, downplaying. And we see this so much in our neighborhoods. I feel like it's easy to admire somebody when you're not attached. It's easier to admire somebody when you're not attached to them. For example, Kobe Bryant, he ain't nowhere from my neighborhood, or he's more of a ideology than a reality to most people. So when Kobe giving buckets, it's easier to get inspired, and it's harder to envy. Though people would still envy Kobe if they can see him filling their position at a superior level. But it's easier to admire. Whereas somebody right from your block, your friend, you and your friend both play ball. You feel me? And now your friend make it to D1 college. Now, you are in a self-assessment phase right next to your friend. And your friend is doing it according to the construct better. How do you feel? You feel me? How do you feel when your friend is doing? A lot of the times you see friends down in their own friends because they feel a certain way about themselves. Oh man, yeah, he went to college, but he ain't that smart. Y'all know that nigga. He ain't all that. Envy. That ain't got nothing to do with the friend. It's all about them. When you comfortable with yourself, oh yeah, that's my boy. He went to college. He a genius. Nigga might be smarter than me. Shit. Who knows? It's levels to this shit. And all of these titles, these words, these characteristics, they all exemplify an energy state. It's all subjective as to who you are. A lot of us are envious creatures. I won't say by nature, I'll say by nurture. It might be a part of human nature because you always recognize when somebody's doing what you're doing at a certain level that you're not doing it at. For example, D Smoke. Shout out to D Smoke. I love D Smoke. A lot of people say I look like the nigga, but that's a segue. For me, when I seen D Smoke and the shit he talks about, the style that he has, his essence essentially looks like how I envision my essence to look. When he says certain shit, when he makes certain songs, I'd be like, damn, I could see myself making that type of song. So, with my energy now, I've upped my frequency. Shout out to Dame for upping his frequency because I've been at low energy states. But now I can only look at D Smoke and be inspired by his works because I see his essence so parallel to mine, and I see him doing it at a higher level that I'm like, oh, I can do it. If he can do it and he is of my essence, showing me that greatness, then shit, I might need to put forth the effort to get to that level. It's a difference between I'm trying to get like you and, oh, he ain't doing nothing. I'm trying to get like you because you doing your thing. Not, oh, man, you balling. You niggas in these neighborhoods that we come from, niggas be having side comments that profess hate. Motherfucker come with a new car that they want. Again, you can be inspired by your homie's new car, or you can be envious. Damn, nigga, you getting money? What you doing? Damn, nigga, you balling? Man, must be nice. Nigga say some shit like that. Manifesting envy from their self-hate when they see you get a car. Must be nice. But when you don't hate, you got love, and your friend get a new car, my nigga. Nigga, good shit. What you doing? Oh, man, that's what's up. Well, shit, teach your boy something. Let me know what I could do. A lot of people are scared to be taught by somebody that's their peer. Out of that envy, insecurity. You don't want a nigga to be better than you that you grew up with. All that shit is distortion in your matrix, preventing you from being your higher self. When you remove that egotistical state, when you remove that negative form of energy that has been festered into you, you can see clearly. You can see that anybody doing better than you on the surface can be emblematic for someone helping you to grow. It's a sign, nigga. When I see Kendrick Lamar rapping like that from a neighborhood familiar to 45 minutes from where it inspires me. We gotta be in tune, for one. We have to be in sync with ourselves, for two. And we gotta check our ego at the door, for three. If we don't check our ego, we won't even come to the point of acknowledging that we have envious tendencies. We're like, nah, I ain't envious. That ain't me. I don't hate. This when the lowest frequency of people, the lowest frequency, the most envious people, the most insecure people, the most fearful people will tell you that they don't fear, they don't envy, they don't have no insecurities. The ones who've took the challenge to challenge themselves, to push themselves past their ego, they'll tell you that they have things to work on. They'll tell you that they may have insecurities in certain areas. They'll tell you when they feel an instance of jealousy or envy in which they have to work on. But the one who does not know is in trouble and is at the lowest form. So this video essentially is for y'all to assess y'all selves and the level in which you at. When you see your friends, when you see your family, when you see celebrities, when you see whoever doing something that you would like to do at a higher level, how do you feel? Envy, the definition, a feeling of discontent or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. Possessions, nigga get a new car, and you resent it. Oh man, well how you get that? Where you get that from? How much you pay for that? Qualities. Oh, this motherfucker raps excellent. Everybody loves how he raps. Why doesn't everybody love how I rap? That's how a lot of people, again, Are you not confident in yourself? Do you not love how you rap? Because when you are loving of yourself, if I could bring it back home, when you love yourself, you can love the world in a different way. When you are loving of what you are and how you do things, when somebody else comes at a higher level, it shouldn't hurt you. You are already comfortable with self to where the outside world can't make you less secure or less certain of yourself. If anything, you use that outside world to build yourself. To build yourself. You feel me? So envy is simply just a low vibrational trait that we have. Again, it's a spectrum to all this shit. We all light forms, and our light don't always shine at the same frequency. Sometimes I give love at a high rate. Sometimes I'm down to where the frequency of hate can come. Envy, jealousy, thoughts, ideas at a low frequency are ugly. Ideas at a high frequency are beautiful, are life affirming. Compliments when I'm high, downplaying when I'm low. And I can admit it. This is the duality of life. I'm not perfect. I'm not 100% happy loving. But we do have to work on our frequency because that exchange of envy only breeds more envy. That exchange of jealousy only breeds more jealousy. That exchange of hate only breeds more hate. But that exchange of admiring a nigga's skills right next to you, which we're so unaccustomed to, your boys succeeding in life, why we don't compliment them? Why we don't be like, damn, man, you're great, bro. Motherfucker wear a decent outfit. Hey, man, you styling. Your boy dressed decadent, nice, iced out. Hey, man, you look good. Our frequency is so low as a collective that we feel bad when we compliment people. I'm talking the black community now, it's relative. We feel bad when we compliment people. That's how low our frequency is. We feel good when we insult them. This is why the black community jokes as much as they joke. Oh man, you're an ugly ass nigga. You ain't doing it. This is our rhetoric, but on a subconscious level, we're happily hating. We are happily hating on a subconscious level when you meet your friends and all y'all do is joke. It's deeper than that. What does the joke imply? J. Cole said all good jokes contain true shit. So your friend is low-key cursing you through the joke. Oh, ugly ass. This nigga can't get no bitches. Something like that. That motherfucker ain't got no gear. Something like that. And then it gets worse. It gets worse to the point where now we're at this low frequency and low energy state to where if somebody does have an actual opinion that's not envious, we can only discern it as envy. Oh, you hating. Oh, you this. Oh, you that. And I understand it because the hate is real. In a lot of these inner city black minority communities, the hate is real in America, period. So I understand why somebody would jump to the conclusion. But when you remove yourself from this low vibrational state, you know that reason, logic, these things are principle. You know that perspective is reality. There is no truth. We all got different truths within this objective reality. So an opinion oftentimes don't even have to consist of hate or love. It can just be rhetoric in the realm of dialogue, ideology. Emotions are subjective. Emotions are what we have. We put emotions into what we say and how we say it. But the actual dialogue of, oh, you know what? I didn't really like his car. His car was not that nice to me. A lot of the times we're going to assume, oh, you hating. Because that's what we've manifested into. Some hating ass niggas. And with that being said, man, this is 19 minutes, 20 minutes. I just wanted to talk real quick about the state of being in which we at as a collective. I don't see a lot of people loving. And as a result, I see more jealousy. I see more envy. I see more hate from people in proximity to us, in which I think we should be loving and we should be giving positive affirmations, positive rhetoric to help the collective rather than harming them by giving them all type of bullshit dialogue to make them a lesser form of themselves. You feel me? But that's enough. That's just me rambling. It's your boy Dame. Let me know your thoughts, your comments. At the end of the day, when somebody makes you feel envy or inspiration, it's a point of self-reflection. You're a quarterback and you want to be the best quarterback in history, and then you see Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes at the Super Bowl. If you're cognitive, you should feel something. Like, oh, this is where I want to be. That's the admiration, inspiration part of you. That's the frequency that you need to keep to make you better. Because if that's where you want to be and you look at them as inspirational and motivational, they're going to help you grow. They're going to be tools to your success. But if you look at Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady and then you see yourself like, why can't I do that? Or, man, they're there and I'm not. I feel bad for that. Envy is a feeling. You feel bad and then you be like, you know what? Fuck Pat Mahomes. Fuck Tom. They both suck. Which route you gonna take in that self-reflection road? It's your boy Dame, man. Subscribe to Dame's World. More content on the way. Peace.